God is a word to describe who you truly are, your true essence, spirit, your being, all of creation and the creator. And if you don't like that word, you don't have to use it, but it is commonly used or traditionally used to explain the part of our being that is all of creation and the powerful creator of this. It can be an uncomfortable word depending on what happened to you as a child around religion and in past lives. And so the word can be tarnished, certainly, but it is helpful in understanding that there is something much greater or powerful than just what we're experiencing as our little story of our separate selves. And to imagine that there is something greater than us can help us to get on the spiritual path and has done so for many years in religion. It can help us to tap into something that is mystical because awakening really is about the mystical. It's about the human as well, but it's also half about the mystical, spiritual world. And so this word God, although it is a trigger word for some, it can just be a nice way to point to the mystical and the divinity and the power of our being. So if we just replace the word God for being or source or spirit or our true selves, then perhaps we can start to understand what God truly is. And it's not what perhaps has been taught to us through whatever religion or tradition that we may have come through. We may have found the concept of God to be very awe-inspiring, and that's probably a good thing as far as helping us to move towards awakening, because it helps us to get outside of our story of ourselves, which feels mundane and broken and small and separate, and to feel into something bigger than ourselves. So the idea of a God can be helpful for us to want to become, to chase the mystical, to get on a pathway of spiritual awakening. So it certainly can be helpful, even if we're believing in a religion and a separate God. But what we find out through the awakening process is that there's no separate God that we may have imagined there to be, just like there's no separate people or separate anything. We find out through our direct experience that there is a God in a sense if we're understanding God to mean our true selves, and that is who we are. So we find out, yes, there is something that we could call God that created all of this, that is creating all of this and experiencing all of this. And we could label it God if we wished, but there's no separate God, separate from humans, in control of things, in power of things. And that's the part where many people get triggered because they don't want to feel like something is in control of them. And the good news is that there isn't. So God, if you replace the word being, so our being, and we replace that with the word God to mean the same thing, then we can start to understand how God can be used in a useful way, or what it means as far as from the perspective of spiritual awakening. So our true selves, our God selves, our divine selves is not separate from us. It's not a separate entity that can have any control over what is happening here. Thankfully, what good news. There's nothing that is determining or controlling what is happening here. Yet, there is something very mystical and spiritual happening here. It's not just humans living out their lives with no mystical element to it either. There very much is something. mystical happening here, very divine happening here that we tap into with awakening, and we find out that for ourselves. Something that's absolutely mind-blowing and awe-inspiring, unbelievable that we tap into, that we can call God. Now, it's not separate from us, but it's certainly there, whatever it is we want to call that. And we find out it's revealed to us that not only is it there, is that that is who we are. We are God. We are source. We are spirit. That is who we fundamentally are. And so it gets dangerous or risky when ego takes over that understanding and wears that hat of I am God. That's where cults are formed. But there is truth in the statement, I am God. We are God. There is only God. All of that would be true. Just like to say, there is only beingness here. There is only source or spirit. It would just be another word to replace that. It sounds like a nice thing to say. The concept is nice that I am God and I am everything. But to fully experience that all the way through is actually overwhelming. It's so much, it's so powerful. And we feel so small by comparison. We feel like I have no influence in the world. I'm not powerful. I'm just this small person here going about an ordinary life. So the impact of the realization that we are the creator can actually be intense. It's wonderful and it's true, but to process it can actually be difficult because it is quite overwhelming. But piece by piece during the awakening process, very gently, we are revealed another piece of the puzzle of reality, another piece revealing to us who we truly are, and that it has many facets to it. It is not just formlessness, emptiness, nothingness that we tap into. It's not just everything, it is both held together, and it is also divine. It is mystical, it is all of creation. It has always been here and will always be here, no matter what the physical bodies are doing, coming into form, going out of form, planets coming in and going out. What we are remains. And that is mind-blowing, but just the truth of reality. You truly are God. You are the creator of all of this. And if you are patient and you're seeking it, that will be revealed to you through the spiritual awakening process. It is a very mystical process. It is not just about healing trauma and all the shadow work and all the things we have to face. There is a whole other side to it that is mystical, that wants to be revealed to you the truth about who you are and that you've forgotten the truth of who you are. It wants to show you the truth that you are the creator of all of this. We could call that God. So, is there a God? Yes, there's no separate God. There's no anything separate from us at all, God or otherwise. There is only one. That is what oneness is. There is one being. It's experiencing itself as different things right now, as a human, as a tree, as a rock, as the sun. It's having different experiences of itself, but it's all the one being. And this one being we could call God. And you are that. You've just forgotten.